Hey everyone, I'm Sister Lula and welcome to my armory. So today I have some of these. So far the only, prior to these, the only Penitent Engine I actually had in my collection was one of the old metal ones. And yeah, we all know how horrible those things are to work with. I mean, they look really cool, but mine's missing parts. And yeah, I figured it was time to see about getting hold of some of these. And yeah, these can be built up not just as Penitent Engines, but as mortifiers. So, let's take a look at the back. And take a look at some of the painted details and so on that they've got. So, I actually had called the mortifier, not necessarily the Anchorite, but back when the Sisters of Battle preview art had started to come up, because they actually showed art with the mortifier in it, with the heavy bolter. I honestly had also thought that there was one in the background that looked like it had a melter gun on it, but seems I was wrong there, which is a shame, because I would have loved for these to have the option for melter guns or multi-melters. The amount of space marine things that have those. But yeah, like, these things are rather interesting. I feel sorry for anyone interred on them, but that's pretty common with 40k. So yeah, I love the different designs for the Repentia pilots, and that funky coffin thing could actually mean I could see that being used by Sister of Battle player for making an Ethereal Stern Dreadnought based off that old, inspired by that old model from way back when that GW did, back when GW didn't have Penitent Engines for the Sisters, so instead they gave us a made-to-order option to build dreadnoughts. This was back before we got the Chimera, I think. Like, for a while we had a Chimera in the Codex. Back in 4th edition, because we didn't have something to fill the section with Repressor is, we're not going to have that for much longer, because it's now Legends, and good luck ever having Forge World come back and take it up. But yeah, enough talking about some other things. Let's take a look at all the parts, of which there is a lot. Oops. Working with a tripod and trying to hold things up. So first off, let's take a look at the top of that part of the anchor, part of the torso. So this has got the, what looks like the leg joint. That's got the front and back of the top armour. It's got some various details. We've got what look like fuel tanks. We've got a purity seal. We've got some burning things. We've got more purity seals. We've got feet or brackets of some variety. We've got top plates. We've got shoulder part. Oh, these are the sides with the shoulders. Yeah, that's one of those, and there are, if I'm mistaken, and they're not. I know they're not quite identical. No, they are identical. We've got two of that sprue. And then, unless I'm mistaken, we have two of the exact same below it. Let me just look. No, they're not actually the same. So first up, we have this sprue that's divided into two halves. Or are they? They might be the same. No, they're the same. They're the same, they're just up on a different angle. So yeah, we've got the heavy flamers, we've got we've got the crew person, coffin, leg part, crew person, mine shackle things, flaily bits, lots of flaily bits. If you had spare flails left over after building those, you could use them for conversion building arco flagrants. You got some heavy bolters, you got buzz saws, you got parts of the crew person. You've got, and then looking at the other side, we have the neat detail on that coffin. I'm trying to put my contrast and it's not really working, is it? We've got the crew person, we've got a female crew person, we've got arco flagrant, we've got parts of the frame, parts of the crew, we've got the other side of the flails, we've got leg parts or arm parts. I think they're arm parts. We've got more parts of the crew and more arm parts and so on. Yeah, it was hilarious when before we knew the mortifiers were coming, because there were people that obviously had not known about the Penitent Engines for a while, or were just coming into Sisters, that wanted to bring outrage with them, and were all upset about how they were only seeing males depicted on the Penitent Engines. It's like, where are the girls? And it's like, either GW are going to include them on the sprue, or they're going to be their own thing. And, yeah, they're their own thing. So these things are going to be fun to build, and, oops, that was the data sheet. I do not intend to show data sheet. We have lots of instructions. So we're going to get these things built. And we have models, and then we have rules. So I'm going to build this up and, show you guys the result. Okay, so after way too long, they are painted. Now, part of the delay was because I was debating quite a lot over making use of blue stuff to make molds of the shoulders, so as to replicate them to have all the arms mounted on. But I decided against it. So here I've built these up as mortifiers, so as my Sisters of Battle actually have something Sister of Battle in them, because at the time these were the only walkers. Then this year, well, 2021, GW decided to release Paragon Warsuits, which are basically these, but kind of nastier. Well, these but more noble. Now, in terms of bits, pardon the jingling, but I have a whole bag full of bits. Now, you'll notice some of them are primed. A thing I found easier when building these, I built one of them up and had a right pain, and it was painful to try and prime everything. I got part way into the building and went, this is going to be a real pain if I have to prime it like this. So I went ahead and spray primed the second model, I don't remember which one, while it was on the sprue, and just cleaned off the contact areas. So yeah, like design wise these are kind of neat. They do match the newer aesthetic. They're also smaller than the older Penitent Engines. Unfortunately, my old Penitent Engine is in storage, which isn't helpful, because I would love to have it around so that I could have actually used it in this video, but it's buried and I can't find it. So yeah, for what is it? I think $89 for these two models. I think it's quite a lot of money for not all that much, especially when they've been moved from being basically Dreadnought equivalent to being Killer Can equivalent in terms of damage output in theory. I mean, I haven't killed Abaddon with them. I had a unit of 3 of them, and Celestine all attempt to kill Abaddon in the same game, and yeah, that didn't happen. Abaddon just tanked it because he has that stupid round all damage in half, downward, basically halve all incoming damage rule, which really is annoying to deal with. but that happens. In terms of scale, here is an Imperial Knight behind them. They are dwarfed by it. Here is a, if I don't lose the legs, here is a Dreadnought kind of next to them. Now I'll just lift it up a bit. It's shorter than them, but that's not surprising. We have a Canoness here, which shows how short it is. And yes, I did go to the trouble of doing custom bases for all of them. And unlike the Victorian miniature stuff that I just showed earlier in the week, I sculpted all these bases. Now, I sculpted them on, well, I sculpted these two bases on a big plastic lid, and the offcuts from them actually are what went into making the Canoness's base. Now, I initially had thought I was going to do a video on it, but then I lost the footage. So, yeah, sorry about that. Here they are next to an Exorcist. Oops. Here they are in front of a regular Predator. Well, Predator Annihilator to be specific. That one day will become a Castigator. Okay, so that probably shows the size of them better. Grab the legs. Now the Dreadnought is shorter purely because it's got a cut. It hasn't got a base at the moment. Well, not really. It's shorter because it is older and shorter. It kind of shows it off with them. The Dreadnought dwarfs them. I don't have a Redemptor Dread. I can't do the comparison. Badly painted Primaris Marine. Time before I started using Vallejo Primer. The aforementioned Canoness. Okay, so here is them. Here's just the 360 view of them. I just figured I might as well put them on the thing. So I chose to give this one 2 Penitent Flails and this one 1 Penitent Buzzsaw and 1 Flail. Partly because I like the idea of the flails as just this output attacks. Just if I had have had 3 Penitent Engines with flails, I probably still wouldn't have killed Abaddon, but I would have put out a heck of a lot of damage and taken him down quite a lot. Unfortunately, he is really hard to kill, and his ability to put out damage is insane. That was the second of the only 2 games of 9th edition I have had, and they were both against a power gamer, and both when I did not know the rules. I still don't really, but that's because the rules get changed every so often. But yeah, so that's what they look like. I can't show the box with them because it's buried in storage, unfortunately. So these are neat models. Not sure they're worth the retail value, but I mean, that sums up my opinion of GW's Australian pricing. But they're a neat model, a neat unit. There is a different version of this kit that comes with the Sister Battle Combat Patrol box, which used to be the Army box. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. What are your thoughts on Penitent Engines? I know that there's a bit of a divide in the hobby about them, because rules-wise they aren't necessarily all that great, because rules keep changing and changing things around. But what are your thoughts? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section on the Penitent Engines, and I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!